This is Els coming here from Beamish Crafty Corner. And today, um, I decided that since this pack that I picked up on Tuesday morning was bleh, I was going to go ahead and show you guys how to make a dimensional flower. Now, some people know how to do this, and that's cool, but some people don't, so I want to show you how to do it. So we do need a couple of tools. If you have any punches that are large flowers like this, you definitely want to use those. If you have any cutting dies that are flowers, like these here and these here, you're going to want to use those. Or, of course, you can use any ones of these as well. So, we're going to want a die cutting machine, if you have one. You're going to want a bone folder. This is not a job for your Teflon bone folder, okay? The Teflon folders have rough edges on them. They're very square and dimensional. You want one that's more like this, that has a curved, gently curved edge, okay? If you don't have one of these, then by all means you could use like a spoon. You could use a large paper clip. If you have a really big paper clip, you could use something like that as well. We'll talk about that in a minute. You're going to want a scoring tool of some kind. This one is actually very large. It's the one that I use for my bookbinding. It's more or less a sculpting tool for polymer clay, but it works, and it's really kind of the one you want. If you don't have one of these, the back end of a paintbrush will work just fine. A piece of foam. This one happens to be about 1/4 of an inch, a little more than 1/4 of an inch thick. I got it from some brads that I had purchased, so don't throw things away, guys. Okay, and then you want some scraps of cardstock. Now, you can have plain colored cardstock like I have here, or you can use colored cardstock. It's your choice. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start by getting our flowers, our petal pieces cut out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get some petals cut out, and I'll be right back. All right, so I went ahead and I cut out. I've got some punched ones here that I did, and I have some of these littler ones that I cut out, some of these thinner little ones. This one's here. And then I have some of the larger actual flower pieces. And some of them, the pieces all came out, and some of them they didn't. So this is pretty easy. You just take a pokey tool and you just push them out. Now, you can do this while it's still in the die, or you can do it, after it's out of the die, however you want to do it. Whatever works for you. It's a matter of personal preference. But you just kind of poke these out. They're already cut. So you just give them a little push and they come right out, okay? And these are the pieces that we're going to use. So we get out a paintbrush or a sculpting tool or something like that. And what we're going to do is hold it in the center, and starting here in the middle, we're just going to go around the petals, going from the middle of the flower out, and you'll see that they're going to start to lift. What we're doing is we're breaking down the texture of the paper, and because we're using a round ball, we're actually rolling it around the end of the ball. We're creating that round effect, much like a petal when it opens up. All right, so there we've got one. It's got some lift on it. Not a lot, but it's got some lift. We're going to do this to all the pieces and parts that we're going to put in this flower. So again, we're going to start with this one. We're going to start in the middle, work our way out the petal. Start in the middle and work your way out of the petal. Now, I'm not just rubbing this. I'm actually putting pressure on this, which is why I'm using this foam pad. You can see the more pressure I put in the center, the more that comes up. So we're going to work the petals, work the petal, Now we're going to work the center and have it come up. We'll do the same thing here. We're going to start towards the center. We're going to go in small circular motions. We're going to come out on the petal. We're going to break down all the fibers of the paper. Okay? Now it's a bigger leaf, so we're probably going to want to use the bigger piece here. This kills my carpal tunnel, guys. There. 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 Really work this in the middle. Okay? And you can see that they just curve up all on their own. See how they're sitting up off the piece there? All right. So now to assemble them as a flower, we put a little bit of glue right there in the center. Take this piece, and we're not going to set these so that the leaves are right on top of each other. We're going to give them a little bit of a turn, okay? Hold it for just a second, because it's going to allow that glue to set. And then we're going to do the next one. And I'm going to do a little bit more in here because I really want this center to come up a little more. There we go. We're going to do a little bit of glue. And we're going to bring this in. Put it in there where we want it. This is where a pair of tweezers might come in handy. Press that down. Really going to kind of work this up. Okay. So we have this tiny little flower. Okay. Boop. And it's dancing off my paper. All right. So let's get a better look at what that looks like on a bigger piece. So we're going to take this leaf from the center out. Right now I'm just breaking down the fiber of the paper. Now to put a real curl in this, I'm going to use the side of my bone folder, and I'm going to be very careful because it is paper, and I'm just going to kind of roll it over the edge of the bone folder. This does a couple of things. One, it smooths the flower back out because it wrinkles when you hit it with the thing, with the circle ball. And two, it allows me to control how much flexibility the petal is going to have. So let's come back in and do this again. This is time consuming. You cannot do multiple flower petals at once. You have to do them all separately. And it's just like curling ribbon, except that it's paper. Okay, so there's two. Put another one of these blue ones in. this up just to finish it off, make it look pretty. All right, and then again, we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to put in some glue in the center. We're going to offset the petals of the next one, just like that. Hold it down for a second, let it set up. A little more glue. We're going to take the next one. We're going to offset that. Put that one in. Hold it for a second. Now on this one, we may want it to have kind of a different inside. And that's pretty easy to do. You take one of these irregular flower petals and just really kind of work that inside. Work it, work it, work it, work it, work it, work it. And just keep pushing down. Put pressure on it. Okay? And then put a little bit of glue on the end of that. And you can put that right in the center of your flower. Put that down. Let it dry. And then we can actually push this up a little bit and the petals will fold into each other. And that is actually going to make the flower just tighter and tighter. See? There you go. And it's just a little flower. So we have all kinds of different shapes and things that we can do with this. We can combine as many different colors as we want. We can combine as many different textures as we want. We can combine the same color with different sizes. We can create different sizes. We could use one of these solid ones with one of the florid ones here with all of the filigree on it, and then put something completely different in the center if we wanted to. We could put in something like this in the center and create a whole new flower. It's entirely up to you. But that's kind of the easy way to make some little flowers that you can use to kind of decorate and embellish things and pop them up. And if you put this in a book, yes, it's going to get pressed out a little bit, but you're never really going to lose that curve, okay? So if you want to put this inside of a journal, fantastic. If you want to put it on the cover of a journal, even better. If you want to add this to a card or a page, a layout that you're working on, fantastic. Again, same thing here. You'd want to put like a little pearl or something in the center of it. You can put a pearl in here. Whatever you want to do to dress them up once you get them to this point. And if you just want to have a whole bunch of little flowers on a book, then just take these little ones and just roll them right here in the center. Roll them out pretty good. Put a little diamond or a little pearl in there, and you just have a whole bunch of little flowers that you can add to a project to give it dimension. Okay? So, simple little paper flowers. There they are. Pretty easy to do. Pretty quick. And if you're like me and your hands are bad, you don't have to use the stylus. You can just come in. It just helps to break down the paper. But you can come in and slowly start working this paper. And I mean slowly. You'd have to do this about 10 or 15 times to get the paper broken down. But you can do it with just your bone folder if you need to. Okay. There. Over here. And I get the same type of an effect, okay? That's it. Those are paper flowers. That's how easy it is. Thanks for stopping by. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button over there. Like me. Ring my bell. Share me with all your friends. I'm making paper flowers. Bye-bye.